According to a study in the UK, almost 80% of millennials feel anxious when their phone rings, and as a result, 60% miss calls entirely to avoid speaking on the phone. So why do people have phone anxiety, and how do you overcome it?
Our next guest works with businesses to help their employees improve their phone skills. Please welcome Mary Jane Copps, also known as the Phone Lady. Good morning.
Pleased to meet you both, Jessica and Frank. Thanks for the interview.
And in Halifax, Mark's neck of the woods.
That's right, Nova Scotia. So I have phone annoyance. Yeah, I mean, a lot of us don't want to talk on the phone. We've been talking all day. We're exhausted. But is that phone anxiety?
No, we can definitely all have phone exhaustion. I've experienced it many times in my life. The phone anxiety is similar to the anxiety one might feel if they have to do public speaking, if they have to give a presentation. It's when they're faced with a skill that they need a skill they don't have. So their palms get sweaty, get very nervous. They might even experience some fear.
And you explained some of the symptoms associated with phone anxiety. So where does that anxiety come from? Are these definitely people that do have that fear of speaking in public, or is it something unrelated to that?
It can be unrelated to that. It's similar to speaking in public. And where it comes from is a bit of a history, really. We started talking with our thumbs in the early 90s when the BlackBerry first came into our lives. And home phones disappeared soon after that. And all of us, not just younger people, are spending more time speaking with words on a screen that we can control, we can edit, we can think about. And less people are indeed talking on their phone. And there is a skill involved there. So if you don't have it and it rings, you're nervous.
Yeah, I mean, not to sound like an old man here, but pick up the phone and you just say hello, and then you talk, and then at the end say goodbye. I mean, is it more complicated than that?
It can be, because again, when we're using words on a screen, we're fully in control of what we want to say. We can research something. If we don't know the right answer, we can we have the time to think about what we're going to say. But when you answer a phone, it's you are in the moment, and you have to deal with it, whatever the customer is asking you. And if you don't feel prepared, that can make you really nervous.
I'm not a millennial, but I've now become the person that would much rather text with someone or email someone than talk on the phone with someone. And I talk for a living. And it's like do we need to talk on the phone more? Is it okay to just say, you know what, I don't enjoy talking on the phone. I can just communicate, via text, via email?
Great question. The sound of our voices contains a lot of information. And when we speak to each other, like we are doing here, we are sharing ideas, we're creating something. So real-time conversation is incredibly valuable and an important career skill. Well, it's an important life skill. So yeah, we need to be able to use all the mediums we have available to us today. So we need to write great emails, we need to text, but we also need to be able to have a conversation on the phone.
Well, to that end, I mean, if it is a life skill, maybe it's something you should start learning as a child. Is there something that parents can do to help their kids to make sure they don't have this anxiety?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I always ask parents is, are you talking on the phone in front of your children? I think that's how I learned how to talk on the phone, was listening to my parents talk on the phone, because the phone was so important in our home. And you can have your children phone relatives, whether that's grandparents or aunts or uncles or sisters that live away, whatever the case is. Encourage them to talk on the phone, order pizza on the phone, those kind of things. Book a dental appointment so that they get comfortable with that skill set.
Mary Jane Copps, we appreciate it, AKA the Phone Lady. Thank you
Thank you
so
very much.
Pleasure to meet you. You can go to her website, thephonelady.com, or connect with her on LinkedIn.
Phones seem to be a theme in her life. She's got her.
I love.
I mean, when you're the
profile
phone
photo,
lady.
I
got
love
the
the
background.
painting.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, still ahead from the movie.